This afternoon, we've got a dynamite matchup of two high-powered passing attacks as the Baltimore Vultures come to town, looking to take down a New Orleans Pharaohs team coming off their biggest win of the season and looking to right the ship and push for a playoff spot in the final 4 weeks. Hello and a very warm welcome. I'm your play-by-play commentator, Michael Trivillo. Joining me in the booth is Eddie Gage. Eddie, could be a lot of points today with two offenses that love to sling the ball down the field.
Absolutely. Both teams come in tied for second in the entire SFL in pass attempts. Both are quarterbacks attempting just over 300 yards through the air. If you're a fan of offense in a passing game, this is the game you want to be tuned into.
You have definitely come to the right place for some gunslingers on a Sunday afternoon. Baltimore in the white uniforms, red pants today on the road with a record of 5-3. New Orleans at home with a record of 3-5, but again, last week, a huge victory over Charleston, 20-17. Could very well kickstart their season.
Both teams looking to secure a playoff spot. There's a lot of games left to be played. None more important than this one before us today.
Baltimore will get the ball first. The kicker, Gordon Guesmatis, has the ball on the tee. His hands in the air. It's game on here in New Orleans. A very good morning local time as it's just past noon as the return for Baltimore comes out to the 28-yard line. Here is the Baltimore Vultures offense led by the veteran Mike Dazzo. Running back is Troy Gaines, fullback R.E. Mills, wide receivers Ivory Irvin and Daley Holder, Paul Slaughter and Mac Chima also on the outside, and Lloyd Graham Jr. is the tight end. They'll start first and 10 at their own 28-yard line. Going left to right here in the first quarter, 4 down linemen for the Pharaohs, clad in black with white pants and purple highlights today. Here's a pass out to T. Roy Gates. He's got some space to work with on the far side, and he'll pick up 9.5 before being brought down to the 38-yard line.
New Orleans coming out in man coverage. Mike Dazzo recognizes it. Doesn't even bother looking for a second read. He just dumps that ball off to the flat where he has a foot speed advantage over the defender. Easy 9-yard pickup for Baltimore.
Here's the power I formation on 2nd and inches. Let's see if Gaines picks up his first carry of the day. Nope, it's going to be another pass for Dazzo, and he's going to go down. Nobody was open down the field, and he is shouldered to the ground all the way back at the 32-yard line, a loss of 7 yards. Chris Leone got back there and knocked him down for his 10th sack of the season.
Dazzo didn't have a hot read there to dump the ball off to an event such as this, and down he goes, introduced to the turf.
Now 3rd down and 7. It's going to be more on the arm of Dazzo as he's got 5 receivers out there. He's going to throw to the far side. That pass is caught down the field on a go route to the 20, to the 15, to the 10, to the 5. Breaks a tackle, touchdown. Ivory Irvin with the long score. Put it on the board. The Vultures take the lead.
We were looking at this from the far side of the field, but it looked like he might have stepped out of bounds there just before he even caught the pass. We'll take another look here.
That's very close.
That's very close. I thought he was out. They may challenge this.
Well, officially, it's 3 plays, 70 yards, and a 68-yard passing touchdown from Dazzo to Irvin. Thank you to Stephen Hacker, who's also joining us today in the stats truck, giving us all the information to make our broadcast go even smoother than it already does. Thank you so much, Stephen. So now on to attempt the extra point is Shark Tarkington. He'll line this one up. The snap is good. The kick is up and good. So with 9:43 to go first quarter, it's Baltimore 7. New Orleans gets the ball next. This is the Simulation Football League on YouTube. And Eddie, we talked off the top about explosive passing offenses, and it doesn't get much more explosive than that.
It does not. But Baltimore surprises me a bit here. Mike Dazzo, the long-seasoned veteran here of the SFL, he usually dumps the ball off and dinks and dunks his way downfield, which is predicated with this high completion percentage. But he went deep downfield there, found his man Irvin, and touchdown, Baltimore.
Ball returned for New Orleans up to the 25-yard line. And That was Ivory Irvin's 6th touchdown on the season. This is his rookie season. He was signed in week 2. Did not record a catch last week, so good to see him back on the stat sheet. Now New Orleans has the football. First down and 10 at their own 25. Under center is Xander Gold. He'll take the snap. No drop back. He's going to fling it out to the near side, and that is Reggie Streeter. Trucks a defender and gets 6 yards on first down. Here is the New Orleans starting offense. Gold is under center. Reggie Streeter is the running back. Wide receivers Badir Ajloni, Ermac Jackson, and Deezer Powell. The tight end is Yassine Clifton.
A lot of weapons on offense for New Orleans,
including Reggie Streeter, who we just saw on that last play. Here's a power eye. Streeter going to run straight up the middle, looking for a lane, won't find it. He is knocked to the ground by Chad Rowland. Here is the defensive setup for Baltimore. The defensive line is Chad Rowland, Vernard Patterson, Tucker Lewis, and Saran Yates IV. Ahmad takes Joe Dazzo and Frank Smith, the linebackers, Marvin Himes, Kaz McFly, and Hendricks Thornberry at quarter, and Giovanni Bolt and Tony Willis at the safety position. Gold in the shotgun on 3rd down and 5. He'll take the snap, throw to the near side right, and overshoots the receiver. He led Deezer Powell out of bounds. It'll be 4th and 5.
That's unfortunate because he had actually 2 receivers open over the top that would have easily picked up that first down. Unfortunately for New Orleans, he leads the receiver out of bounds and 3 plays in, and they're already putting this ball right back off to Baltimore.
Punter is Gordon Grismatis for New Orleans. He stands at his own 15-yard line. It's going to be decent field position for the Vultures here, already up 7-0 in the early going. Punt away from just about the 20. It hangs high in the air, caught at the 35-yard line. A little juke move gets the receiver, Giovanni Bolt, up to the 41-yard line. And something that's important to note here, Eddie, is we're just about getting going, but it's important for New Orleans not to fall too far behind the 8 ball in the early going against Baltimore.
No, you don't. You want to be able to keep this game close and make it an easier game for Xander to manipulate.
Good contained by the defensive line there as the ball was handed off to T. Roy Gaines. Stopped in the backfield by Zig Washington. That's a loss of 2 yards. Washington, a very impressive game last week in the win over Charleston. 5 tackles, 2 assists, brings their total to 7. 2 sacks and 2 tackles for loss. Only 3 down linemen and a 4 wide set here on 2nd and 12. Dazzo stands in. He's going to fire deep over the middle, and it's tipped and incomplete. Dante West had his hands on the football, and it eventually hits the turf 3rd and 12.
I'm not sure how he didn't pick that ball off. He was in prime position. Did everything right but catch it. But I guess that's why he plays defense.
Third and 12 here. This would be huge for New Orleans to get a quick 3 and out after a turnover. Dazzo, quick over the middle. That pass is caught by Holder, but he won't be able to get to the first down. He's going to come up 3 yards short. Tackled by Tank Bennett, who continues his lead atop the total tackle standings now with 112 on the season.
You know, perhaps I'm old school, but it's just crazy to me that a strong safety can lead his team and the league in tackles.
Forces the punt out of Jack Wingmore, stands at his own 32-yard line. So both teams trading 3 and outs after the early quick touchdown for Baltimore here in the first quarter. The return only up to the 15-yard line, pretty deep field position for the Pharaohs. That's Aaron Arrington returning kicks for New Orleans today. Interesting, Eddie, we have 3 9-season veterans on the field today. Aaron Arrington, the quarterback for New Orleans, and then the 2 Dazzos, Mike and Joe. Gold over the middle. That's a nice pass straight down the seam. First down and more up to the 32-yard line. Give him 17 yards and a first down. on the reception to Badir Ajlodi, his first contribution of the afternoon.
You want to beat quarters coverage? That's how you do it. The skinny post. Over the cornerback in front of the safety. It's a tight throw, but you can get it pretty much every time.
Good arm strength shown by Gold to zip that ball in there. Over 2,600 yards on the season coming into the game for Gold. He's under center now on 1st and 10. Gonna take a two-step drop and take a sack almost immediately. Brought to the ground by Tucker Lewis. His first solo tackle or solo sack rather, of the game.
A defensive lineman once told me, if the quarterback has time to get that ball off within 3 seconds, that's on you. If he has time to pump fake it, that's on us. That time the defensive line did just that, got him to the ground.
That sets up 2nd and 13. Hand off Reggie Streeter, room to run up the middle. Makes one man look silly by putting his back on the ground before getting taken to the ground after a gain of 10. So from 2nd and 13 brings up a 3rd and manageable 3.
With a tailback like Reggie Streeter, that's exactly what you want out of him. Keep your shoulders parallel to the line of scrimmage. Lower that shoulder, get a few extra yards. 3rd and short for New Orleans.
Streeter looking to go over 700 on the season today. Had 660 coming into the afternoon. Gold under pressure, throws it over the middle, and it's caught. Gold took a massive shot, but completed the pass to Badir Ajlodi into Baltimore territory at the 49-yard line.
Wow. Xander did a great job right there of keeping his composure despite the defensive line collapsing around him. Was able to keep his eyes downfield and get a 1st down for New Orleans.
A lot of times when you see quarterbacks scramble in the SFL, especially to their throwing arm side, it's going to be tough to complete that downfield ball, but Gold showed good arm strength and good awareness, and was another pass complete to Ajlodi, his 3rd catch in a row, at a gain of 6 out to the 43.
Baltimore also showing man coverage, but they weren't pressing, and the out route is kind of difficult to defend in this league unless you're pressing that man up on the line of scrimmage.
2nd and 4 after the 6-yard gain. Just about 5 minutes to go here in the first quarter. A fast-moving first quarter of football. Offset eye, tight end left for Xander Gold, who's under center. It's going to be a strong side handoff to Streeter. He's going to go right up the middle and cut through the defense like a hot knife through butter, and he's going to be dragged down from behind at the 21-yard line. A touchdown-saving tackle from the defensive lineman, Tucker Lewis, who was all the way in the backfield to make the tackle there.
Mike Watson, the right tackle for New Orleans. If he would have scored, then Streeter should have given the ball to spike it into the ground and celebrate with, because that man was blocking 10, 15 yards downfield. Great blocking by the young man.
And what about Tucker Lewis, the defensive tackle, running down Streeter from behind 15 yards downfield? You don't often see that from a DT. Here's 1st and 10 at the 21, approaching the red zone, and they'll be in it now as a pass complete out to the far side for a gain of 3 into the 19-yard line. Ermac Jackson picks up a catch.
Ermac Jackson coming over from Oklahoma City, looking to make a statement today.
Second and 7 at the Baltimore 19. Three wide, 2 left, 1 to the right. Gold in the gun. Gold going to throw near side. That's complete to Powell, and this time Powell gets the foot in bounds, picks up 2 more yards, going to bring him a 3rd and 3.
Cornerback Marvin Himes had a 2-way goal on that assignment. He had 2 receivers in his area. Xander Gold made a smart decision, waiting for the play to develop. He can only choose one. He went to the slot. Xander threw it to the outside. 3rd and short, New Orleans.
Here's a power run formation with a single receiver out to the right side. It's going to be a delayed handoff to Reggie Streeter, and Streeter's going to get pick up a 1st down, even after being hammered by Tony Willis at the 11-yard line. 1st down and 10. They can get a 1st down inside the 1, but I think it's going to be all to the end zone from here.
Yeah, New Orleans ran a delay there, which I'm not a fan of in heavy set because defense thinking run, but the offensive line got a great push.
Here's another run from Streeter, this time off tackle. He's going to pick up 4 yards straight up the middle. And it's interesting that the offensive line from New Orleans is getting as good as a push as they've done. If you look at the pedigree of the players on the defensive line for Baltimore, they're all rookies, but they're all big-name contracts. Chad Rowland, Tucker Lewis, Saron Yates IV, and Vernard Patterson. Here's 5 wide, 2nd and 6 from the 7. Can Gold go to the end zone? He will, to the back corner, and it's knocked away. It was intended for Deezer Powell. Giovanni Bolt was back there applying the pressure. 3rd down and 6.
I'm not a fan of the decision, but I'm a great fan of the throw. He threw it up high where only his man could get it. It's either going to be an incomplete pass or a touchdown.
Let's see what they dial up here on 3rd down. Looks to be another passing formation. 4 receivers and a tight end left. Gold moves to the pocket under pressure, throws to the end zone, and threw it well behind Deezer Powell. And the drive stalls in the red zone, and out will come Austin Powers to attempt the field goal.
There had to be a miscommunication between the quarterback and the receiver. He was wide open, and somehow Xander missed him.
Here is Powers for the chip shot field goal. This will be officially from 24. Kick is all the way and good. Make it 23 yards. And a field goal from Powers. So with 2:42 to go in the first quarter, New Orleans gets on the board. It's Baltimore 7, New Orleans 3. The Simulation Football League on YouTube.
A 13-play drive for New Orleans. Settles for 3.
And it's almost a drive that if you're the offensive coordinator, you love to see the first 99% of that drive, but the problems in the red zone is something you're going to have to clean up going down the stretch.
Well, it's hard to score down there. Defense isn't lagging off anymore. Those windows get tight. But again, he missed a wide open receiver with a chance to tie this game up.
Still early in the ball game, 2 minutes 38 to go, first quarter. Baltimore on top 7-3 after an early long touchdown pass to Ivory Irvin. On the first drive of the game, they're going to throw out of a heavy position here. Here's T-Roy Gaines, and Gaines is crushed to the line of scrimmage on the outside. Couldn't get any leverage there. And it's 2nd down and 10. Aaron Arrington with the hit.
That can be credit to the defensive line because they got immediate push up front. Didn't allow the receivers to get downfield. Linebackers did not have to drop their depth. And as a result of it, it's 2nd and 10.
Dazzo empty set, 5 wide. He's going to throw down the middle of the field, and it's caught behind the defense. There's Daly Holder, and he shakes the tackle, and is still going to the 30, to the 25, 20, and he's brought down to the 14-yard line from behind. Racing to make the tackle was Tank Bennett, saves the touchdown, but another huge pass play over the top for Baltimore.
I tell you what, when cover 3 is implemented at the right time, it works great as it puts another defender in the box. This time, Mike Dazzo is a veteran. He saw the safety comes crashing downfield. Wide open is the post, and it was a foot race to the end zone. And thankfully for New Orleans, they were able to get him down to the ground.
Now let's see what Baltimore can do with their first trip to the red zone of the ball game. From the 14-yard line, Dazzo in the gun. He's going to throw over the middle. That pass is caught, spin, move to the 5, and down to the 2-yard line is barely missing out on the end zone was Mac Chiba as he gets all the way down to the 2.
I know it's like a broken record here, but once again, New Orleans comes out showing man, but they backed out of it. It was zone. Dazzo recognized it, dumped the ball off with the slant in the middle of the field, and he almost scored.
This almost seems like T-Roy Gaines' wheelhouse here. A heavy set, 1st and goal from the 2. Gaines dots that power I formation, but it's going to be a pass. Gaines makes the catch, makes the turn, and touchdown! T. Roy Gaines on the pass play, and he extends his lead at the top of the receiving touchdowns by running backs chart. That's his 5th of the season, and it extends the lead for the Vultures.
The defender met him 1 yard short of the end zone. T. Roy, flexing his muscles, introduces him to a stiff arm, throws him to the turf, and walks into the end zone.
Yeah, T. Roy Gaines is the definition of a power back here in the SFL. We've got a lot of backs that are shifty, that'll make you miss. Gaines is just like, nah, I'll just run through you. You can't do anything to stop me. And he'll score another touchdown. Extra point up and good from Tarkington. 1 minute, 1 second to go, first quarter. Fast start for the Vultures. They lead this one 14-3 on the Simulation Football League on YouTube.
Maybe it's just me, but I think T. Roy has some of the biggest shoulder pads in the entire SFL. He's already a big guy, but those shoulder pads make him look like a defensive end out there and not a running back.
Yeah, big shoulder pads for big shoulders, reminiscent of some days of old. 5 yards deep in the end zone goes the kickoff. Here is Arrington looking for a lane. He'll only get out to the 22. Under a minute to go now, first quarter, 57 seconds left. Let's see what New Orleans can do here on the next offensive possession. A bright spot for New Orleans was that last possession where they were able to drive down the field 13 plays. They just couldn't put it in the end zone. If you put it in the end zone on that drive, you got a very nice blueprint for the rest of the game.
Yeah, you do, but there's a lot of game left, and hopefully they make some adjustments while they're on the sideline.
Here is Gold in the shotgun. He's going to throw it short over the middle. That pass is almost intercepted. It dipped right at the end of the pass, and Frank Smith only had it harmlessly go off his thigh, or Amon Takes, rather, only harmlessly had it go off his thigh instead of taking it back, possibly to the end zone.
Don't disrespect Amon like that. He likes to be referenced as the great Amon Takes.
Well, the great Amon Takes with a pass defense. 2nd and 10 now at the 22.
2nd and 10 from Desperado, 22-yarder.
Gold under center this time. Defensive line shifts to the right. It looked like they were bringing a bunch of pressure here, but they do drop back and only bring 4. Here's a short pass out. Here's Reggie Streeter trying to make a man miss, and will get dropped after a gain of 6 yards. Nice tackle there by Joe Dazzo.
Yeah, that was actually the fullback on the reception there. New Orleans comes out in the far twins look. Baltimore was not fooled.
Four wide on 3rd and 6. New Orleans looking to extend the drive. A high snap. Gold going for it all down the sideline, and Deezer Powell is behind the defense, and he is gone. Touchdown, New Orleans. Deezer Powell racing to the house, and we've got a ball game here in New Orleans this afternoon.
Deezer Powell coming in with 7 touchdowns on this season on 87 targets, has been the primary receiver for this team for a long time now. He has to be accounted for. He hits him with a double move. McFly unable to keep up with them. Touchdown, New Orleans, and they're right back in this ball game.
This drive was eerily similar to the opening drive of the game by Baltimore. Both of them 3 plays, 70-plus yards, and ending with a long pass touchdown.
As we said pregame, they like to throw the ball deep, and they did on that play.
Now, at some point, I'm not going to do it right now, but at some point, I'm going to go look at the Jack's Stats Twitter account and see what they had the over-under on this game as. Because I'll be interested to see if we may be already close to breaking it, if they've gone for a standard SFL over-under.
Baltimore, they got some 30-point games this season, so yeah, I'll be curious to see what they have this set at as well. I'm not the gambling type, but I do like to see what those numbers are set at.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you said it. Baltimore averaging over 30 points in their victories, the only time they've won and haven't scored over 30. is never. They've scored over 30 points in all of their victories this season. So, big offensive power coming from the Vultures, but now they find themselves in a dogfight, only up 4 with 6 seconds to go in the first quarter.
Yeah, I'm sure New Orleans didn't plan on giving up 14 points here before even the close of the first quarter. But as we said, this game is about adjustments, and on the sidelines, I'm sure they're making them right now.
Yeah, but the key to shutting down this Baltimore game, as I'll finish my point after this 1st and 10 from the 35. Here is Mike Dazzo, slings it sidearm, and it's tipped and intercepted. What a turn of events as the pendulum has swung in favor of New Orleans here. And right as the first quarter clock hits 0, Dante West takes advantage of a tip and picks it off.
Yeah, I couldn't get it done, but I think that was Bryce Lincoln who initially tipped the pass. Yeah, it was, and got it to him. Wow. I think that was a 3 strong they were out in that play, and caught it up at the right time. First down, New Orleans.
That's the end of the first quarter. Baltimore 14, New Orleans charging back. They've got 10. This is the Simulation Football League on YouTube. Welcome back to New Orleans, Louisiana. Michael Chirillo and Eddie Gage on commentary for this one as we get our Sunday slate underway. Stephen Hacker in the stats truck for us as well, making all the numbers work. As down the field goes Xander Golden. He way overshoots Ermac Jackson. Lucky that one wasn't picked off. 2nd down and 10. ACE Ben in the chat kindly posted that 54.5 was the over-under, so we're a long way from that.
Long way. Yeah, they know Baltimore's averaging 30-plus points a game.
Handoff up the middle, and Streeter, that's a great run, picks up 7. And the point I was going to mention before we went to the quarter break was, yes, they're averaging 30-plus points in their wins, but they're only averaging in their 2 losses 15 points. So the teams that have been able to stop this Baltimore offense have had the success.
Oh, absolutely. And one of those was that snow game in Denver. I'm not sure the weather had something to do with it, but Baltimore cannot get
Pass
it going.
Gold. Oh, into traffic, and it's knocked away. Tony Willis knocked that one down. Oh boy, that was that could have been picked off right back the other way.
4 defenders in the area. I'm not sure what Xander thought he saw downfield.
Now brings up a 4th and 3. And this is going to be a long field goal from the foot of Austin Powers.
47 yards out.
Yep, let's see if he can hit it. Kick all the way, and it is good from 47, and he would have made it from 55. That was a monster kick from Powers, and we have a 1-point game.
Perhaps he thinks he's up in Denver, and his confidence is soaring high with the thin air, but he's down here in New Orleans in this humidity. But despite the weather today, it's only like 79 degrees, or it feels like it rather, was able to boot that one through.
A nice spring day for football here. Partly cloudy, 71 degrees, feels like 79. Kickoff taken 2 yards deep in the end zone by Bolt. He looks for a way through, but he'll get to the 20-yard line. And that is all. So, Baltimore 14, New Orleans 13. Here with 10-12 to go in the second half. But if anybody can buck the trend of allowing Baltimore to score a lot of points, but also coming back to beat them, this New Orleans team can do it. They've got the offense to score with them. 1st and 10 from the 20, 10 minutes to go second quarter. Jazzo underneath. That pass is caught by Lloyd Graham Jr., the tight end, his first catch of the day. He'll turn upfield for a first down to the 32-yard line.
That was probably one of the easiest reads Mike Dad was going to have to do all night. There wasn't much thinking involved in that throw. At the snap of the ball, New Orleans bails out of there. And as you said, Graham found himself wide open.
because last week against Charleston, New Orleans got the win 21-17, and that's the fewest amount of points that New Orleans had scored in a win this season. Here is T. Roy Gaines looking for an opening, gets past the first man, but he will not get past the second, as a combination of Dante West and Bryce Lincoln brings him down after a gain of 5.
Number 33, Dante West, is thanking his teammate for being in the right place at the right time, because once again, he was shown to the turf.
Offset eye. Dazzo, no step, drop it. He's going to pay the price. Taken down immediately by Ray West, coming through and beginning the sack, his 7th of the season.
Ivory Irvin, I'm guessing Aaron Arrington has been studying the Baltimore playbook, because he allowed him to run right by him. But he must have known it was a quick 5-yard out. He didn't even bother looking behind him. But it didn't matter, as Dazzo was sacked.
5 wide on 3rd and 8. Let's see if Baltimore can extend the drive. Dazzo fires down the field. Intercepted! It looked like it was going to be knocked down, but somehow Aaron Arrington came up with it, and it's going to be New Orleans football at midfield.
Mike Dazzo, I'm not sure what's going on there. I mean, New Orleans comes out in a 3-2, but they brought a 4th when they blitzed the the Mike linebacker. And wow, perhaps the pressure got to him, and he saw ghosts and threw that one. Ill-advised pass. New Orleans had their second interception of the day.
Well, again, he got a little bit unlucky, because that was a deflection by Dante West straight into the breadbasket of Aaron Arrington, who didn't look like he knew much about the play, to be honest. He just looked like, oh, look, what's this? Is this a football? I guess I have it now. Here's Xander Gold looking to take advantage of the turnover. First play from scrimmage goes deep, and it's going to be caught at the 30-yard line by Deezer Powell. So already in business are the Pharaohs, looking to take the lead here in the second quarter.
You were speaking about Dante West. He came into this game tied for 9th in the NFL with 9 pass deflections. He's tied with yours truly and Anthony Wayo in that department until today.
First down and 10 at the 30. 4 down linemen. The linebacker's playing well off the line. Here's Reggie Streeter, and Streeter gets collapsed on and dropped after a gain of 2. Good job by the strong safety there, Giovanni Bolt, coming down and makes the tackle. Or, sorry, that's Joe Dazzo and Bolt were both there.
Baltimore is trying to mitigate the damage here. New Orleans deep in Baltimore's end here, trying to hold them to 3.
Gold middle, first down. Deezer Powell again, or excuse me, that is Yassine Clifton, the tight end, straight down the middle of the field, taking a big hit for making a play down to the 19-yard line.
He took a big hit, but he knows he's the biggest man out there.
He's the tallest. He tied for being the tallest player on the field.
Yeah.
At 6'7". Clifton. He's only matched by the defensive end for Baltimore, Chad Rowland. Here's another handoff to Streeter, and he'll be bottled up and actually lose a yard. Lewis was there in the backfield along with Bernard Patterson. As Reggie Streeter takes a hit to his average carries.
Reggie comes into this game despite his previous success last season, amongst the fewest in the SFL in carries this season.
Handoff middle. Streeter again stuffed. Gets back to the original line of scrimmage. Amon Takes was there to put him down along with Bernard Patterson again.
Yeah, just to hit on that point, he came in tied for 3rd in least amount of carries, but he's 5th in receptions with 57. 3rd and 10.
3rd down, 10, 5 wide, and a jump offside for Baltimore. Free play. Here's Gold going to the end zone. It's caught at the 1. Did he get in the end zone? We don't know. Looks like he was down at the 1-yard line. It was Ermac Jackson. That was so close. We'll see what the referee's call is here.
It was. I think he's going to be down just inside the 1. It's going to be 1st and goal. They're going to decline this penalty. Taking a look at it here. Mac Jackson. Yeah, it's going to be 1st and half a yard just outside the goal line.
Yeah, but this is Reggie Streeter's breadbasket right here. Inside the 5. He's got a good offensive line in front of him. Let's see if he can pay dividends and give New Orleans the lead here. From inside the 1, it's Reggie Streeter untouched into the end zone. Touchdown, Pharaohs. And from 14-3 down, they've come all the way back to take a extra point pending 20-14 lead.
That was a smart play on the behalf of Reggie Streeter. That play was designed to go to the right side of the A-gap. And as you can see here at the snap, on the replay, he gets the ball, sees that Baltimore is jamming the middle, cuts it outside to the C-gap, and walks in for an easy touchdown.
And one of the wildest stories about Reggie Streeter was actually this offseason when he moved from London to New Orleans. Because last season, Reggie Streeter set the all-time record for rushing yards in a single game by a running back.
Yes.
When he was playing on the London Knights, the team he did it against, the New Orleans Pharaohs. And now here he is, running over people and scoring touchdowns for the purple and gold in the Big Easy.
Management of New Orleans took a look at that and said, we got to find a way to get that guy on our team.
Most rushing yards in a game. If you're interested, that is 425 rushing yards in a game.
Insane.
Giovanni Bolt takes the ball up to the 26-yard line. Now Baltimore working with a deficit for the first time today. Let's take you around the SFL and do a little bit of a score update presented by ScoreStream, the official live scoring app of the Simulation Football League. Just underway in the 3rd quarter, and London and Sioux Falls, the Knights have a 14-10 lead over the Sparrows. That's at Queensway in London. Here's a handoff. T. Roy Gaines trying to say, anything you can do, Mr. Streeter, I can do better, as he takes the ball for 12 yards straight up the middle and a first down.
New Orleans shifted their line to the weak side of the field, and Baltimore took advantage of it. It's like every time you see highlights, if you want to see how to do things right as a young running back, just watch this young man. T. Roy Gaines always has his shoulders headed toward the goal line. He's a big back, and he understands. He's not the juke type.
1st and 10, it's going to be Dazzle to throw under pressure. Gets the ball away and hits the back of the receiver, and it's intercepted as the ball popped up in the air. A 3rd straight interception for Dazzle. This one, it's Tank Bennett with his 2nd of the season.
I didn't see who tipped the ball. I didn't get his number, but Tank Bennett is saying thank you to him as he's running by him. And wow, if he'd have beat that man, he walks into the end zone.
You know who tipped the football? It was Daley Holder. It came straight off of his back as the pass was right at him, but he didn't turn around to catch the ball.
Free play again.
And another jump offside for the defensive line of Baltimore. This time they'll accept the penalty as the pass falls incomplete.
Baltimore's got to be wondering what the heck is going on out here. Our offense just cannot get going. And once again, the New Orleans has great starting field position and looking to take advantage of it.
Yeah. 3 straight drives with an interception for Mike Dazzo. All 3 of them coming the way of the deflection. So none of them really his fault. But that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes.
It's a team sport.
At the 31-yard line, here come the Pharaohs. Handoff Reggie Streeter. Streeter breaks a tackle in the backfield, gets a seal block on the edge, and he's going to get one man to beat down inside the 10, and he's down to the 4-yard line. As Giovanni Bolt saves a touchdown, but Reggie Streeter continues to dominate the competition.
And this is what I would like to see out of New Orleans. You want to take some of this pressure off Xander Gold. feed Reggie Streeter. You guys brought this guy in as a big free agent acquisition. Let him know you appreciate him. I understand he has 57 receptions coming into this game, but he wants to be fed via the run game as well.
Here is Gold from the 7-yard line. Threw it a little bit behind Streeter, and Streeter actually rumbles out of bounds with a 3-yard loss at the 10.
That's unfortunate because he had Yassine Clifton open on a hitch route. It'd have been about 2nd and 3 rather than 2nd and 10.
Baltimore hoping for a goal line stand and to stop the bleeding a little bit as New Orleans has rattled off 17 straight points to take a 20-14 lead. Here in the second quarter, Xander Gold is going to go down. There was nobody open in the end zone, and the defensive line got there. Bernard Patterson with another sack to his name this afternoon.
Yeah, perhaps Xander Gold wasn't in participating man defense, something that Baltimore hasn't done in a while until this play, and caught him napping.
Now 3rd and goal from the 15 as the last 2 plays we've seen the Pharaohs go backwards to the red zone. Gold again hit as he threw, and the ball hits the turf. Saran Yates, the 4th, applying the pressure. And that's a good red zone stand from Baltimore. They're going to force a field goal from the 15-yard line.
Saran Yates was a walk-on for Baltimore last season. Came in, played in the middle of the season, played well. They did not even allow him to hit free agency. They re-signed this man to a contract, and it's paid dividends so far for this Baltimore team.
It'll be a 32-yard attempt for Powers. The kick is on the way. It is up, and it is good. So with 3:40 to go first half, New Orleans extends the lead. It's 23-14 over the Baltimore Vultures. And Baltimore has stuttered a bit on offense due to the 3 interceptions by Mike Dazzo in the last 3 drives. Do you think they should go to the ground game more or just try and do little short passes to get Dazzo back into the rhythm?
Well, Dazzo, as I said earlier, he's a veteran. So he knows what he needs to do. I'm sure the head coach probably is on the sidelines, not even talking to him. He's going to allow him to sort things out in his zone, and hopefully for them, they can get the ship righted. But as a fan of T-Roy Gaines myself, I would like to see him feature more in this offense.
Well, as I said, Gaines does pick up more usually through the air than on the ground. 337 receiving yards with 4 touchdowns coming into the game. He has a receiving touchdown already today, giving him 5 on the season. We mentioned that is the most by any running back in the Simulation Football League. 1st and 10 from the 22. Here is T-Roy Gaines up the middle. He has a nice hole and a nice block and a cut up the middle. He's going to go. He doesn't have the speed to get away from the back end. Tank Bennett ran him down, but he's all the way up to the New Orleans 39-yard line.
Yeah, the strong safety ran him down. That piano got on his back, and he wasn't able to shake it. But, I mean, he comes in averaging almost 5 yards to carry anyway. Continue to feed this man and take that pressure, as I said, off of Dazzo.
I couldn't see. I think it was Lloyd Graham Jr. who had that excellent seal block about 10 yards down the field to take out the linebacker from the play to allow the extra 15 or so yards that Gaines got at the back end. Here's I formation. It's going to be T-Roy Gaines again. For a lane, shakes a tackle, tackled by Arrington with Bennett after a gain of 5. And yeah, T-Roy Gaines, he's running angry right now.
He is, and that's impressive. For a power back, you don't see too many of those guys who's able. The lane was closed, and he took just a quick little half step to the left and made his own lane for an additional 2 or 3 yards there. That was impressive.
Dazzo to the air and catches the defense sleeping on a nice little post route as Ivory Irvin takes a 15-yard completion up to the 23-yard line. Clock just about to hit the 2-minute warning. They don't have to snap it again before we get there.
Ivory Irvin is doing a nice job stepping in, replacing the veteran Bishop Warfield for Baltimore. They didn't skip a beat when they signed this young man.
Irvin has the long touchdown on the day on the opening drive. Here is T-Roy Gaines. That time he is tackled right at the line of scrimmage. Give him a gain of 1 after falling forward. Bryce Lincoln on the tackle. And that will bring us to the 2-minute warning. An excellent first half of football so far sees the Pharaohs lead the Vultures 23-14. We wrap up the first half right after this. Two minutes to go. Baltimore trying to get back into this game here in the second quarter. Mike Dazzo, 3-step drop, fires it right over the middle. That's a great catch by Holder. Right at his chest, hangs onto the football while being hit by Bennett, and he picks up a first down inside the 10.
You knew exactly what I was thinking, because I don't know how he held on to that ball. It was the moment he caught it, he was being met. So, yeah, Daley Holder did a great job of catching that ball, secured it into his body just before the defender got to him.
Yeah, Daley Holder, a 6-season veteran, formerly played for the San Antonio Vaqueros, who later became the Denver Nightwings. Minute 30 to go here in the second half. Here is Dazzo, going to fire out to the far side. Can Holder turn the corner? No, he stepped out of the 2, and it'll be second down and goal.
Wow, I thought he was going to get in there because the defender was playing way off of him.
Yeah, no real pressure on that route.
But Dazzo saw it because he actually hot-routed to him and audible to that out route.
Yeah, and it looked like the throw was just a little bit behind him. But now we're second and goal at the 2, I formation. T-Roy Gaines stats it. It's going to be Gaines on the carry, working left. Chase one tackle, can't get away from the second one. Nice grab there by Leone. And it's third and goal from the 2.
For a moment there, I thought he was going to get in. I saw him elude one defender, could not elude the second.
This time they're in a passing formation with Gaines alone in the backfield and
Changing
2 wide receivers out to the left. A tight end is also there.
Press man, it's going to be interesting.
It's going to be Gaines. It's going to be short again. Run down by Tank Bennett at the 2-yard line. Baltimore calls their first timeout of the half and will have to settle for 3 points from Shark Tarkington.
That was a solid tackle there. You see why he leads his team and the league in tackles. One-on-one versus T-Roy, and T-Roy is tackled short of the end zone.
I mean, he's been all over the field, Bennett.
He has.
You know, running down receivers in the secondary. He's been in the backfield. He gets to the running back. He does it all. He's a complete strong safety as Tarkington puts it up and good. A little chip shot field goal there to lower the gap. It's now Baltimore 17, New Orleans 23. Lowers the gap to 7, 48 seconds to go, second quarter.
If I'm New Orleans, unless this Aaron Arrington can find a way to kick and get a nice return out of this, I'm just going to be happy to have a 6-point lead and walk into the locker room with it. But we'll see what they do.
Here is Arrington. He'll be met at the 23-yard line and dropped on the return.
They have all 3 timeouts. Do they get aggressive, or do they settle for their 6-point lead?
Well, we'll see what they decide to go for here. Xander Gold, no wide receivers, but I know teams like to throw out of this formation. A little swing out to Reggie Streeter. He rolls over one defender and then gets tackled by Willis after picking up 8 to the 31-yard line.
They said he got out of bounds, but I did not see that.
Well, we'll be able to see here on the replay. Right at the end there, looks like.
Yeah, I got his toe out of bounds.
And that's a big boom for New Orleans. They don't have to burn a timeout here deep in their own territory with 38 seconds to go in the half.
Second and 2. Ball at the 31-yard line.
Here's a strong side handoff to Streeter. He outrun his blocker, but he does still pick up the first down. That time he stayed in bounds. The clock is running, so it looks like New Orleans will elect to just go to the half without snapping the ball again.
It looks like it.
We talked about Tank Bennett being everywhere on the field today. He leads all defenders in tackles with 6. That's 3 more than the closest competitor, who is Giovanni Bolt. Up the middle goes Streeter, and that will take us. Oh no, the New Orleans is going to call a timeout here and maybe take a shot at the end zone from their own 38-yard line.
And they are, but it won't be via the Hail Mary variety. That's a bit. Zenner has a strong arm, but it's not quite that strong. So we'll see what they dial up here.
So maybe they'll try something tricky underneath and try and get some blocks downfield. Who knows what the coaching staff is drawing up over there. So with 3 seconds to go, let's see what they dial up on 2nd and 5. They're just going to run it with Streeter trying to catch the defense out. And he does get to the second level, but he'll be tackled at the 47-yard line. We hit the halftime interval. New Orleans looking for a second straight upset in a row. They lead the Baltimore Vultures 23-17 at the break. This is the Simulation Football League on YouTube. So, Eddie, we've hit halfway through this thoroughly entertaining contest, and New Orleans looking to spring a second straight upset after their victory against Charleston last weekend.
Yes, New Orleans, they've been a bit of a mystery this season. They have some big wins and some disappointing losses, but they're looking to secure another big win today. And I think if they rely on the legs of Reggie Streeter, they can find a way to get this done. For Baltimore, Dazzo has been surprisingly inefficient today. Each of his interceptions have come when he's looking to get the ball downfield with intermediate passing. If he can just straighten things up, and he's a veteran, I'm sure he will, they can find a way to get back in this ball game as well. But it's a lot of football left to be played, and it's going to be all about matchups and second half adjustments to see who can find a way to come out on top.
And I think the big swing in this game, you said it, was the 3 interceptions by Dazzo. All 3 of them on deflections.
Yeah.
And 13 points off turnovers for the Pharaohs. That's really what the difference is in the ball game right now. And I think if Baltimore cleans up on offense, they're right in this thing. Remember, they averaged 30 points a game.
Absolutely. But as I said, New Orleans, they have some big games this season as well. As you said, one of them being over Jacksonville. They got a triple overtime winner over Carolina early this season, showing the resiliency that this team has to continue to fight despite fatigue and everything else that went along with that game. So New Orleans, they're on the verge of turning this thing around. And it starts today. If they can find a way to hold on to this lead here in the second half for 22 more minutes, they can walk away with a big win today here at home.
And look to climb into the playoff race that is one of the closest playoff races I've seen in SFL history. I mean, I don't think you can really compete with season 12's madness, where we had to go to the final day of the season and beyond to determine who got in the playoffs. But I mentioned last night when I was doing a broadcast with Stephen Hacker that because of the absence of a couple of traditional powerhouses, i.e. Denver, Mexico City, the Storm, Seattle, it's really turned the league on its head this season, and it's open season for anybody who can figure out the strategies that the teams are employing and counter them to make a rise to the top.
It is. I mean, oh my goodness, the parity in this league this season. As you said, season 12, season 13 is another one that came down to the wire. I believe season 13 came down to the last game for Houston last season. So, I mean, these past couple of seasons here, and this one is going to be another one, are going to come down to the wire. And no team has been eliminated from playoff contention just yet. So, you got to just stay tuned and keep watching these SFL games and see how it shakes out.
Anything can happen. Everybody is still in with a shot. Even the 3 and 5 New Orleans Pharaohs and all the 3 and 5 teams. That includes Mexico City and Carolina. Anything can happen here in the last 4 weeks of the season. Anybody could make a run and get into the playoffs, as did Houston last year. They were in a similar position to what this New Orleans team was in, went on a miracle run at the end of the season, scraped into the playoffs, and then ended up getting to the second round.
How I remember. Oh, my goodness.
So here we go. Second half of football underway. The Pharaohs with the ball and the lead at their own 23-yard line after the return by Arrington. Handoff. Here is Reggie Streeter. He gets easily past the first level of the defense, and he is taken down by Joe Dazzo and Giovanni Bull. Reggie Streeter averaging 6.3 yards per carry.
Perhaps someone in the locker room was listening to us at the halftime. Continue to feed that man, and he will produce for you.
Second down and 4. Here's a handoff up the middle. Streeter again. No resistance for Reggie Streeter through the first level of the defense. And that time, Tony Willis had to bring him down, but not before picked up a first down and extended the drive for the Pharaohs.
Mike Watson once again running side by side with Streeter downfield.
And this game could very well come down to a running competition between Reggie Streeter and T. Roy Gaines. Not what we really anticipated when we were looking at this matchup beforehand.
Not at all.
Because here's Streeter again, a third straight carry. He shakes off a tackle of Patterson, but he slowed him down just enough for Ahmad Takes to get in there. Dazzo was also in on the tackle, 2nd and 6.
Weak guy runs a stretch play out of it, and Streeter was a missed tackle away from getting a big gain out of that one as well.
Second down and 6 from the 40-yard line. Already produced 20 yards on this drive that started at their own 20-yard line. Here's a first down throw to the far, or second down throw rather, to the far side. 3rd down and 2 coming up after the completion to Ermac Jackson.
Baltimore in this second half has went exclusively with man coverage. And so far, New Orleans is able to figure out that puzzle. Can they do it here on 3rd down?
Streeter, did he get the first down? Yes, he did. He paid the price for it because Ahmad Takes leveled him into the ground, but he does pick up the first down to the 46-yard line.
That was close. I didn't think he got it, but they said he did. But as you said, Ahmad Takes, oh my goodness, that was a punishing hit. He earned that first down.
And for Baltimore, they're on their opponent's side of the field. It's still early in the second half. I don't think you'd risk a challenge there, but I've seen crazier things happen. Here's Xander Gold with his second pass of the drive. He completes that one out to Ash Lodi, who picks up 7 for 2nd down and 3 at the 46 of Baltimore, this time into plus territory.
Perhaps Streeter is still recovering from that blow he took from Ahmad Takes. They decided to go with the pass play on that one on 1st down.
But something we've consistently seen today out of New Orleans is an excellent balance of run-pass. As Streeter takes the ball again, and he's barely not going to get the first down. He's going to be a yard short as he was driven back by a wall of red and white jerseys. 3rd down and 1 coming up, which before this point in the season, we really haven't seen out of New Orleans because Reggie Streeter has the 6th fewest amount of carries among active running backs.
Yeah, we hit on that earlier, and oh my goodness. I will continue to feed that man until he asks for a blow on the sideline.
3rd and 1. Here's Streeter. He didn't get there. It's the great Takes. Ahmad Takes with the big stop to stop the drive at the 44-yard line. They're out of field goal range, and it looks like they're going to force a punt from Gordon Grasmatis.
Yeah, these past couple of runs, it looked like he might have gotten tired there. He's running a bit slower, but it's only going to go for it here on 4th down. Let's see what they do.
Now, it's the right part of the field. Punting really doesn't make much sense. And you're barely outside of field goal range. It's going to be Streeter. Gets a great block and picks up a first down. One of the only teams that goes for it on fourth down. We usually see a lot of, trying to get the defense to jump off sides. And, well, that time they said, no, we're not having any of that. We're just going to pick up the first down and extend the drive.
New Orleans came into this game 2 for 2 on fourth down, make it 3 for 3 as Streeter is able to move those chains.
And when you have Reggie Streeter in the backfield, why not go for it a couple of times on fourth down? Here's a handoff to Streeter. He'll lose a yard. We've got a score stream out-of-town scoreboard update from London, England. The Sioux Falls Sparrows have come back to take the lead 24-17 over the London Knights, but it is Knights football with 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. That is on Twitch. That's Simulation FL on Twitch if you want to find that game also going on right now. Handoff, Streeter, right side. Nice block to get him free. But you're right, Eddie. It doesn't look like he had the speed that he had earlier in the first drive.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth there. I thought that was at least an 8-yard pickup, but you can see he's a big gas there. I'm surprised he's not on the sideline right now, but he's trying to tough this one out for his team.
And a long drive, which has burned over half of the clock off of this third quarter, down under 6 minutes to go. They're going to go to the air with Gold, launching it over the top of the defense, and it's knocked away by Bolt. And it was intended for Badira Ajloni, 4th down and 6, and I don't think they're going to go for it this time.
No, not this time. 4th and 6, they're going to try to pin them in their own end. But wow, that pass, like it was up in the air forever. He put a lot of air up under that ball, and it just had interception written all over it.
Here's the punt from Gress Mattis. He stands just on his own side of midfield. We'll get the punt away from the 50-yard line exactly as it was almost blocked. We had a streaking defender coming in there from Baltimore. It's going to bounce the 10 down to the 5 and take a Baltimore hop back to the 7. And London has just scored to tie the football game versus Sioux Falls 24-24. That game is in the fourth quarter.
Interesting. Upset alert on deck for Sioux Falls.
Indeed. That would be a huge blow to Sioux Falls' playoff chances and the Sparrows' perennial playoff contenders as T. Roy Gaines takes the ball up the middle for 3. Unable to get over the hump and make, a semifinal or final, but the black and gold is always there.
They are. They're in playoff talks every season, and we'll see if they can keep that talk going as this season moves on.
Right now in a dogfight with the London Knights over at Queensway. Dazzo stands in, throws, and it's incomplete. He overthrew the receiver on the outside over the middle back, Chima, and it was knocked away. Lucky that one wasn't intercepted as well.
Yeah, that ball hung up in the air for a bit there, and the defender just could not locate it.
And this is a key play for Baltimore. 3rd and 7 at their own 11-yard line. If they don't pick this one up, it's going to be excellent field position for the Pharaohs with the 6-point lead and a offense that have been churning clock like no tomorrow so far in this game. Oh. And here's an out route that's incomplete. Roddelman Hood got under it to knock the ball away, and it's going to be 4th and 7.
Hood almost picked up his 5th interception of the season. It would have put New Orleans in prime position to score inside the 20. But wow, Baltimore's defense just came off the field after being on it for about 6 minutes. They came over the sideline, drunk a sip of Gatorade, and are right back out there. Not good for this Baltimore defense. They're tired.
Wingmore from his own end zone gets the punt away. It's high, but not very deep. It's going to be in Baltimore territory and officially at the 46-yard line. Short field for New Orleans to work with here. Let's get some quick chat shout-outs here on a Sunday afternoon. Show the people some appreciation for joining us here on the SFL on YouTube. I'm an effing problem. Ray West, Mr. Frank For Real, Cole Dodson, TMG Jr., Ace Ben, Kenny Lamar, CAG NFL, Shan Varner, and everybody else that is joining us today on the SFL on YouTube. We greatly appreciate you tuning in all season long. It's just going to get better, folks, as we run down to the playoffs continues. Xander Gold, 7-step drop, plenty of time to throw, fires over the middle. It's intercepted. He airmailed it right over the middle, and it's picked off. That is not how you wanted to start a drive in your opponent's territory. Amon takes with his first pick of the season.
Amon Takes, I'm telling you, he's probably still upset that you didn't acknowledge him as the great Amon Takes. Say, okay, I can show you, but I can tell you, it's his first pick of the season, and wow, they needed that because this defense was tired.
And it brings the ball back onto the field at the Baltimore 45. Vultures back on offense here with 4:44 to go third quarter, looking for any momentum because it's been completely in the corner of New Orleans thus far. Here's T. Roy Gaines out of the backfield, picks up 9 off the little swing pass, and this is the bread and butter of New Orleans, or of Baltimore rather, this season, the Great Swing City.
I'm guessing they're taking a page out of another team up there in the Northeast. I won't say any names, but yeah, that was a page right out of their offensive playbook.
Yeah, and remember, Carolina used to run a lot of swing passes back a couple of seasons ago. Here is Gaines powering forward for a first down to number 4 to the 41-yard line of New Orleans.
Gaines just dragged a defensive lineman 2 yards downfield. That's almost ridiculous.
Throw over the middle, caught by Holder. Holder a first down to the 29-yard line.
This is the type of offense that you're used to seeing out of Baltimore. Short, quick, easy reads for Dazzo to eliminate these unnecessary interceptions he continues to throw today.
That was Lloyd Graham Jr. on the previous play, not Holder. 1st and 10 from the 29. To the far side, there is Holder making the catch, gain of 4. And a complete caught from earlier. The Carolina running back from a couple of seasons ago that got all those swing passes and scored so many receiving touchdowns as a running back. Johnny English was his name.
Yes. Has over 10,000 yards rushing in his career, I believe.
No, they give it to T. Roy Gaines, and Gaines is hitting the backfield for a loss of 2. Back to 3rd and 8. And another 3rd and long coming for Baltimore. And they've had those situations a bit too much this afternoon, I'm sure, for Thomas Paternetti's liking. 5 wide on 3rd and 8. Here's Mike Dazzo throws the ball down the field. It's caught in between 2 defenders by Holder and down to the 4-yard line.
Wow, I was not expecting that. I was sitting there looking at the play develop, and I thought that was going to be tipped up and possibly intercepted. But great read by the quarterback nonetheless. He got that ball to his outside shoulder where only he could catch it. First down, Baltimore. And that's got to be discouraging for New Orleans. They come into this game despite their defensive ranking, 1st in the NFL in 3rd down efficiency.
Here's Power Eye. It's going to be another swing pass. T. Roy Gaines, he's got the lane. He's got the end zone. And another receiving touchdown for T. Roy Gaines. And we've got a tied football game with 2 minutes to go in the 3rd.
Second time he scored a touchdown out of that same formation. New Orleans did not adjust to it. And once again, Baltimore's going to take the lead, extra point pending. We got ourselves a ball game, ladies and gentlemen.
We do indeed, and a 7-play, 56-yard drive for Baltimore. Once again, thank you to Stephen Hacker, who's in the stats truck for us today, alongside Eddie Gage. I'm Michael Cirillo calling all the action here in New Orleans on a beautiful Sunday afternoon. Kick is up and good. Thanks to Shan Varner in the chat. We've got another score update and another amazing football game that's happening in London. Sioux Falls has retaken the lead 31-24 over the London Knights. with just over 5 minutes to go in that one. That's, of course, twitch.tv/simulationfl if you want to catch the action in that game. But if you keep it right here, I wouldn't blame you, because this one's shaping up to be another fourth quarter dogfight. We're not even out of the third. Still 2 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Double spin by Arrington only gets him up to the 22. Here is the playoff picture as it stands coming into the weekend. New Orleans on the outside looking in. And if you extended that graphic just a little bit above that Jacksonville Kings logo, there we go, you would find the Baltimore Vultures at 5-3, still in the hunt if they win today for a home playoff game.
Yes, it's gonna be crazy these last few weeks.
Here is Reggie Streeter. He's had a little bit of time to recover on the sideline, but he takes a huge loss of 2. Joe Dazzo getting in the backfield for a tackle for loss there, making a loss of 1 back to the 21-yard line.
That play was designed to go to the C gap, and there was nothing doing there. The offensive tackle pushed the offensive guard back to his lap, and second and long for New Orleans.
Alone in the backfield is Gold. Gold takes a 3-step drop under pressure, hit as he threw, but he launches the ball down the field, and it's intercepted. Oh, here come the Vultures with another pick. And Baltimore looking to cement their dominance in this game. They've got the ball at the New Orleans 35.
I'm not sure what he thought he saw, but he's got to be shaking his head right now, walking back toward the sideline. It looked like that Baltimore's in cover 3 on that play. I couldn't quite see the angle, and he threw it right into the breadbasket of the defender Thornberry, and Baltimore with a chance to add some points to this lead.
Yeah, Hendricks wild Thornberry with his 4th pick of the season. Gold throwing into double coverage, and he doesn't like the result. Baltimore back on offense, looking to extend their 1-point advantage. 1:20 to go in the third quarter. Dazzo to the near side, caught by Holder. He'll rumble out of bounds after a gain of 4.
That's about the 3rd or 4th time today I've seen him audible to that out route. He's starting to see this defense a bit better here as this game progresses.
And that's what Baltimore have done all season. You mentioned that Mike Dazzo has a ridiculous completion percentage. And they do it with passes like that, underneath, out route. But we've seen a lot more down the field strikes today from the Vultures offense. But we've also seen a lot more T-Roy Gaines as Gaines breaks through about 3 or 4 potential tacklers, gets 14 yards and a first down to the 20.
It's not even possible to make T-Roy Gaines get skinny, but he found a way to make him smell a bit smaller, if you will, and weave his way through for an additional few yards on that play. But as you stated, Mike Dazzo, first in the SFL in pass completion percentage at 77%.
And I love the respect. I'll get to that after this. As Dazzo to the far side, incomplete, as the pass was too far ahead of the tight end Lloyd Graham Jr. I love the respect showed to Tank Bennett. He's now pretty much every running play receiving a double team.
You come into the game with 100+ tackles, they're gonna locate you on every snap.
And it hasn't stopped Bennett from picking up 7 solo tackles on the afternoon either. Here's Dazzo on 2nd and 10. Late blitz coming, gets the pass away, and it's dropped. It was in the hands of Ivory Irvin, but he took a shot from Dante West and dropped the football. 16 seconds to go in the third. 3rd and 10 from the 20.
Put it right in his breadbasket, despite the fact that the pocket was collapsing around Dazzo. Able to get that ball downfield, but unfortunately the receiver couldn't secure it before he got hit.
Here's 4 wide. It's all on the arm of Mike Dazzo. Dazzo, middle, caught, fumbled the football. It's loose at the 2-yard line and recovered by New Orleans at the 1.
Baltimore may challenge this play. I'm not sure if he had possession. It was close. We'll see here in the replay.
Yeah, let's see.
Oh, that's going to be a fumble.
That's close. It was Mac Chima. Yeah, It looked like Chima took 2 steps before the ball was knocked out. It was picked up by Andre Daniels, the defensive end.
Baltimore is going to
will
challenge
here. But let's see what the refs say. I think the call on the field should stand, but we never know what R62 is thinking.
We never know. That was close, but I think he did get that second foot down.
Let's see. That's closer than I thought at the outset.
That's a bang play. That right foot was just getting down. So we'll see what they say.
After review, the play stands. The receiver did not.
Oh, they
And
play
it's gonna stand. It's gonna stand. Baltimore, that could be a costly loss of a timeout as we get closer to the end of the game here. But now, New Orleans has got to be careful because they've got the ball inside the 1-yard line.
This is tough.
Can't give up a safety here.
Oh, it looks like going to be a screen here to the outside. We'll see.
We'll see how the latter. No, it's going to be Streeter up the middle. That's a good run by Streeter. First down up to the 11. And that is the end of the third quarter. Put your 4s up in the chat. This is going to be a tight one down the stretch. The Pharaohs have the football down by 1, 11 minutes to go. This is the Simulation Football League on YouTube. Stay right there. A 1-point ball game in the fourth quarter. If you're just joining us, you've missed a doozy, but we're in for a wild end to this one as Xander Gold forced to step in with a pocket, throws on the run, and completes a pass in triple coverage. What a play by Gold, and a better catch by Jackson.
It sure was, but he had to wait because there was tight bump coverage all the way downfield. He had to hold on to the ball a bit longer than he needed to because of the press coverage. And wow, that guy was able to get inside the defender there over Thornberry and catch that ball where only he could get it. That was a great throw by Xander there. Probably his best throw of the day.
And it looked for all the world like he was going to be sacked from behind because Bernard Patterson was coming. First and 10 for New Orleans at 33. Streeter unable to get any gain on that play right at the line of scrimmage. He is tackled by Takes.
Again, Takes has come to play today.
Well, if you enjoyed the Simulation Football League action thus far, don't worry. There is a venerable feast of football action on this Sunday for the SFL. I'll get to that slate in a minute. You could also find it scrolling down on the bottom of your screen. Here's a pass over the middle. Nice change of play as Ermax Jackson picks up a first down out to the 45, extending the drive for New Orleans. But the upcoming games, we got all of them on the 11 Sports Network and for the fans. You can catch those online at twitch.tv/FTFnext or on any of the providers that carry 11 Sports. At 3:30 p.m. Eastern, it's Charleston and Mexico City, a battle of the new heavyweight versus the old heavyweight. As first and 10 for New Orleans, Streeter looking a little slow on that play, but does get some midfield after picking up 5.
Yeah, you wonder what his condition is like right now. He's been looking slow to pass several plays.
At 5:30 p.m., it's Queen City and Las Vegas, and that Las Vegas game has some big implications regarding playoffs riding on it. I'll get to that later in this game. 2nd and 5 at midfield. Xander Gold fired to the far sideline. Can he turn upfield? Yes, he can. Badir Ajlani has the first down. At 5:30 p.m. Eastern, I mentioned that one. 7:30 p.m. Eastern, Carolina at Arizona. A game that you, Eddie, have a vested interest in, I'm sure.
Very much so.
And then rounding out the night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, it's the championship game rematch from a season ago, Seattle and Denver. First and 10 inside Baltimore territory at the 43-yard line for the Pharaohs. Short pass to Streeter. Streeter shakes a tackle and then gets pushed out of bounds after a gain of 6. Flying in to make the play with Saran Yates and also Tony Willis.
Yeah, we were wondering if he's lumbering or fighting off a lower body injury, but it didn't affect him on that play. He was able to shake off a tackle and get a few more yards.
And this is the thing that New Orleans has done fantastically all day. They have really worked this clock with Streeter. And this time Streeter gets the ball again, but he's not going to get the first down. A yard short as Thornberry came up and made the hit.
New Orleans is definitely winning a time of possession battle today. They've, in particular, the second half.
Well, their first possession of the third quarter was over 6 minutes.
Yeah.
Third and 1. Gold to throw. Gold to the far side. Wide open on the check down is Deezer Powell. It'll pick up a first down to the 29-yard line. That's a fantastic going to progression there from Gold.
It was, and you can see it as it happened. He was his third read, and I almost saw him a bit too late there and let him out of bounds. But fortunately for New Orleans and their fans, the drive continues.
Pharaohs down by just 1, looking to spring their second straight upset here in the SFL as the pass is intercepted. He was going for the post route, and it was read and picked off by Kaz McFly. The no McFly zone strikes again, and Baltimore takes the ball away.
Oh, you took the words right out of my mouth. McFly, in terms of interceptions that he's accustomed to getting, he doesn't have as many as he'd like to coming into this season so far, but he got a big one there and got the ball right back to his team with 7.5 minutes left.
McFly, his 5th pick of the season, and now with a 1-point advantage and 7 minutes left. Let's see if T-Roy Gaines and Mike Dazzle and company can bleed some clock here. It's going to be a short pass out to Gaines, and Gaines is drilled after a gain of only 1. That was Levant Irvine. Haven't really mentioned him at all today. Irvine, but he made that tackle. Kind of the journeyman inside linebacker. He played with Vancouver in the past. A handoff up the middle to Gaines. This time he finds more up the inside and picks up a 5-yard gain. It's up 3rd and 4 at the 27.
T.O. was actually met a yard beyond the line of scrimmage, was able to fight off a tackler and get a few more yards. This is a big 3rd down coming up.
Let's see what they choose to do here. With 2 receivers spread out left, they're going to run weak side to T-Roy Gaines, and it's blown up in the backfield for a loss of 4. A big hit by Zig Washington, and that ends the threat for Baltimore.
New Orleans defensive front guessed right with the razor left, and if he doesn't make that tackle, T-Roy is still running downfield.
Zig Washington, 11 tackles for loss coming into the game. Is almost blocked. Was that punt by Wingmore. Fair caught by Arrington at the 41-yard line of New Orleans. But as I said, Washington, 11 tackles for loss coming into the game. He's now got 2 in today's game, make it 13 on the season. He really is the leader on the defensive line.
Oh, absolutely.
Also had 2 big sacks down the stretch to clinch the game last week for New Orleans. Back to the power I. A handoff to Reggie Streeter, once again met and goes nowhere. And I mentioned that the Las Vegas game coming up later this afternoon was extremely important. If Las Vegas wins, if they beat Queen City, all teams with 6 losses or more are eliminated from playoff contention. 7 losses or more are eliminated from playoff contention.
Correct.
So that's a huge game for all the teams at the bottom of the standings. Gold, middle, wide open, right down the pipe into Baltimore territory to the 39-yard line. Great catch down the field there by Yassine Clifton.
Yeah, we haven't called his name much today either, but he leads this team in average yards per catch today, and no time like the right time for get one here.
New Orleans at least looking to get into field goal range as we have a confirmation of a final score from London as Sioux Falls walks out of their 31-24 victors over the Knights. A big win for the Sparrows and a big hit on Reggie Streeter by Thornberry. It'll bring up 2nd and 7.
Thornberry has a couple of big hits today, proving that cornerbacks can hit too.
A couple of big hits and a big interception for Thornberry.
Press man for Baltimore here. The fade is open if he sees it. And he runs.
It's going to be Streeter. And Streeter.
Sioux Falls actually stopped London on 4th and goal from the 2-yard line to preserve that win today. Big stop.
Wow, I'm going to have to go back and watch that one. That sounded like an intense game. And hopefully we're going to get something similar here down towards the end of this one. A 1-point game with under 5 minutes to go. Everybody in the chat, if you know somebody that loves the SFL or even doesn't, and they're not watching this football game, get them in here to see the end of this one, because it's going to be wild. Here's Gold down the field, overthrew the receiver who had a step on the safety, and it's going to be 4th and 5. I think they're on the edge of field goal range here from Powers.
Oh, this is close, man. You're either going to go for it or because you're too close to punt it. You're either going to go for the field goal or go for it on 4th. And they're going to go for it here. Oh, man.
This is going to be a 51.5-yard field goal attempt from Powers. He had the distance earlier to hit from this range on a 44-yarder. This time the kick is up. It is good! 51! And the Pharaohs take the lead with 3:58 to go.
Wow. Wow. The Baltimore faithful are starting to get a bit nervous here. They're down 2. The clock is not on their side. This game is going to come down to the wire, Mike.
Powers was 13 of 14 coming into the game. He is now 15 of 16 on the season as he's hit 2 today. Kick away. Baltimore now down 2. This is a situation that the Vultures haven't really found themselves in much this season, because they've either lost big or won big or won close but scored a lot of points, as in last week in their win over Sioux Falls, which was 34-28. They really haven't been in a really close game like this down the stretch, and this is going to be a huge test of character for this Vultures team.
Let's see what Mike Dazzle can do.
Well, if anybody can lead a massive comeback, it's going to be Mike Dazzle. He's done it before. T-Roy Gaines right up the middle. Beautiful blocking up front from R.E. Mills, the fullback. Sprang Gaines for a 12-yard first down to the 35.
Mike saw a soft box, called a trap up the middle. There was a defender. Once that nose guard was tackled to the ground, it was wide open for T-Roy there. Easily his best run of the night here in quite some time.
First and 10 at their own 35. 3:25 to go. 2 timeouts for Baltimore. Plus the 2-minute warning as Dazzle almost throws another interception, threw it behind the slanting receiver, and Arrington got a hand on it.
Arrington is one of the veterans of this team, one of the leaders, probably their defensive captain, able to bat that ball down.
Has 3 picks on the season, does Arrington, as well as 23 tackles. That's before today's game.
Blitz.
Dazzle hit as he threw, but got the pass out there, and Daly Holder shakes a tackle and gets into New Orleans territory at the 43-yard line.
Clock is ticking. Baltimore is probably going to slow down the tempo of this game, knowing that they're close to field goal range. Not quite there yet, but they're in no hurry to call this next play. They're going to let this clock melt a little bit.
And another tackle by Tank Bennett, his 8th of the contest.
Jeez.
He did have 9 solo tackles last week against Charleston, so that's a pretty good average for a strong safety. Dazzo, short drop. Here's Gaines looking for a lane, finds a lane, gets a round 1 tackler, and picks up another first down. Man, the legs of T-Roy Gaines are really the motor that this drive has got on for Baltimore.
Yeah, it started on that first down play, first play of this drive. He got a great block from his left tackle there. Otherwise, he's probably tackled the line of scrimmage, but he's able to capitalize off the great block, get a significant chunk downfield, and Baltimore, sure enough, is going to slow this clock down now. They're
Yeah,
in no
now they're
hurry.
in field goal range,
Yeah.
or either that or just outside it. No, they're definitely in field goal range at the 28-yard line. Well, you said slow this clock down. They're in 4 wide formation. Dazzo corrals a low snap, steps into the pocket, throws it short, and almost throws a pick. Oh, Bryce Lincoln had the ball in his hands, but he dropped it as the pass was intended for Chima.
That's unfortunate because Bryce only has one pick on this season. If he would have got that one, it'd have been the biggest of his young career.
Lincoln, the rookie, picked 4th overall in the season 14 draft. Oh, a big jump for Baltimore by New Orleans. A pass complete. That may have moved the chains to Lloyd Graham Jr. We'll see where they spot the football and whether they decline this penalty or not.
They're going to decline this penalty, and ultimately, that may have been the best thing that happened for New Orleans because it's going to stop the clock for them and save their offense, save their team from having to burn a timeout in an attempt to get Xander this ball back.
So now, with points almost assured for Baltimore, I don't want to jinx it, and I may have just done so, but yeah, the turnover really the only thing could stop Baltimore from taking the lead here. You want to get the ball back as quickly as possible. Here's Dazzo. Here's Gaines. That's a great block in front of Gaines, and Gaines shakes another tackle and gets down to the 4-yard line. Well, I'll tell you, Levant Irvine was put on his back by R.E. Mills and then got up and chased down Gaines to make the tackle. We've hit the 2-minute warning. Oh, we've got a ball game here in New Orleans, a 2-point New Orleans lead, but the Baltimore Vultures are right on the doorstep. How will this game end? Stay tuned to find out. This is the Simulation Football League on YouTube.
Down to the wire, indeed, Mike.
Indeed. Michael Trillo, Eddie Gaines have been calling the action for you here from all afternoon long, and it's coming down to the wire with 2 minutes to go and a 2-point New Orleans lead. Handoff, Gaines. Can't get anywhere up the middle. New Orleans forced to burn a first timeout. At what point do you let Baltimore just run it in so you can get the football back? Or do you hold here, burn your timeouts, and try and force a field goal?
Oh, the defensive coordinator and me, I just can't. I don't know. I mean, I see what you're getting at. There's another team in another league that's done that in the Super Bowl, but we'll see what happens here.
Handoff, Gaines. Gaines breaks a tackle, and he can't get away from the defense, and another timeout burned by New Orleans, their second. This is the second time they have stopped Baltimore at the 2-yard line. They've given it to Gaines over and over and over again, but the defense just will not break.
And this is why I can't let you walk in and score. If they stop him here, they can limit him to a field goal attempt and give Xander another crack at this.
And that also means that a field goal from Powers wins the game for New Orleans, but we'll see. 3rd down and goal here. This is a huge play for the course of the football game. Downs are going to throw to the end zone, knocked away! And they hold in the red zone again.
Aaron Arrington with the biggest play of the day for him so far, able to bat that ball down. He was trailing the receiver there. If Dazzle can get that ball a bit more to the outside, that's a touchdown.
Arrington knocks it away from Ivory Irvin. And Shark Tarkington is on the field.
Gonna be like an extra point for him.
Yeah, this is a chip shot. 19 yards will be the attempt. Kick all the way. And good from Tarkington. Baltimore takes a 1-point lead. Buckle up, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a barn burner of a finish coming. 1:47, a 1-point deficit for the Pharaohs, and 1 timeout to work with.
We've just been informed that there are over 100 viewers watching this game right now on YouTube. You guys are looking at a good one. This is going to come down to the last tick of the clock here today.
From the end zone, here's Arrington to the 15, to the 20, run down to the 21. So it's going to be a 79-yard field to go for a touchdown. But remember, they only have to get in field goal range. They're down by 1.
Plenty of time, despite the lack of any timeouts remaining. It's plenty of time to get in field goal range. Xander Gold needs to be smart with the football right here.
Streeter nowhere to be found. It's 5 wide in the set. Gold, pump fakes, over the middle, caught in traffic. What a nice grab, as high pointing the football was Ermax Jackson. And now they go up-tempo here. Gold again, down the field, knocked away. That was close, but
Thornberry
knocked
again.
Down by Thornberry again.
He's had a great game today.
He has a couple of big hits, an interception, pass knockdowns. That pass was intended for Deezer Powell.
2nd and 10. Ball at the 35-yard line.
Now here's Streeter making an appearance on the field. We'll see if he gets a swing pass. He does, to the far side. Streeter doesn't get out of bounds, so they can't stop the clock. And they're not going to want to burn a timeout left because there's still 1:13 to go. This is a 3rd and 5. Right, big couple of plays coming up here for the Pharaohs. Gold, 7-step drop, launches it down the field. It's tipped. Oh, and it's incomplete. Kaz McFly was there, but he couldn't hang on to it. And it's going to be 4th and ball game for the Pharaohs.
I know Xander's a gunslinger, but there's no reason to have a 7-step drop right now at this moment in the ball game. 4th down. It's going to come down to this for New Orleans.
4th down and 5. 1:04 remaining. Gold takes the snap. 3-man rush. Fires
Get
near
out.
side.
Oh.
And it couldn't get a turn upfield. It's going to be a turnover on downs. But Diraj Lodi couldn't turn upfield. He steps out of bounds. And that way just about do it, as Baltimore has the ball back. 1 timeout for New Orleans. They may have a chance if they get a 3-play stop here.
1 minute and 1 second left. This game is over. They're going to kneel the ball here. They're going to force them to burn that last timeout. And 2 more kneel down to do it. This game is over.
Just not enough time for New Orleans, as Baltimore will come out with a huge win, 27-26, in a dogfight, as Baltimore improves to 6-3. They match Sioux Falls, which just went to 6-3, and they half game behind both Charleston and Queen City, who have yet to play this week. They both play today, actually, coming up in just a few hours on 11 Sports Network.
This is going to be a disappointing loss for New Orleans, but they have nothing to be down about. This was a tight, entertaining ball game. They went toe-to-toe with a SFL powerhouse over the past few seasons, and you can see the things that they're doing to improve this ball club. And better things are yet to come on the horizon for this New Orleans team.
New Orleans drops to 3-6, not out of playoff contention, but pretty much needing to win out after this. They place a also down on their luck Mexico City team next week right here in the Big Easy. As there you can see the bottom of the playoff bracket. The Gladiators fell last night, as now New Orleans has fallen today. Mexico City, Carolina, and Denver all yet to play today. We shall see how the playoff standings look after Week 9, but this game is over. Baltimore hangs on for a 27-26 victory. Eddie Gage, we were thoroughly entertained today, weren't we?
Yes, we were. Wow, I mean, both teams they attacked the opposition a bit differently than I expected on offense, but they were both productive as a result of it. Reggie Streeter finishes the game with 140 yards rushing and a touchdown. I like what they did, getting him involved a bit more than they have thus far this season, and you saw the fortunes they were able to get from it. If they can find a way to continue to implement him into the ball game, into their game plan, yet keep these receivers happy with some passes downfield. I like the direction this team is moving in, particularly offensively. Yes, their defense has been down and out, as we said earlier, but they're first in the SFL in third down defense. They got a lot of good pieces that they have on this team, some veterans, some young guys that they just need to develop, and this team is on the verge of turning the corner. For Baltimore, their playoff hopes continue. They got a big win today on the road versus this team. Things are just looking up from here. They had a disappointing loss early this season, a couple of them against some powerhouses, Charleston to name one of them. But this team, once again, right at the ship, found a way to get a big win today here on the road, and they're looking for the playoffs. They're just trying to find out what seed they're going to get, if they can hang on and get a couple more wins down the stretch.
The Vultures play host next week to the Tulsa Desperados. And now, Eddie, I'm going to have to ask you for your player of the game. I know who my vote would go to, but I want to hear your thoughts.
I think they're going to give it to Mike Dazzle, but we'll see. But then again, T-Roy had...
Yeah, I had T-Roy Gaines. I think the 3 interceptions, even though he didn't have much to do with them, they were all 3 on deflections.
Yeah.
T-Roy Gaines, 119 total yards, 2 touchdowns, and he was the cog in the machine on a lot of Baltimore drives, and he picks up the player of the game. That'll wrap it up here from New Orleans, Louisiana. For Stephen Hacker in the Stats Tuck, Cameron Irvine in the production booth, and Eddie Gage and myself, Michael Cirillo, in the broadcast booth, we say so long and stay tuned. Head on over to 11 Sports for the rest of the Sunday slate, and we will see you next time.
Thanks for coming. Good night. Drive home safely.